Since starting my first company in 2007, and after spending the last 7 years helping high performing entrepreneurs navigate the complexity of their business and life, I have witnessed that one of the greatest gifts, one of the greatest needs of an entrepreneur is clarity. And when an entrepreneur has tremendous clarity, they can make decisions that move their business and their life forward. And recently I was featured on a podcast where I illustrated one of my methods, and somebody reached out to me, and basically I could feel their frantic energy. And at the same time, I could feel their level of commitment. And so I engaged with this individual, and we hopped on a coaching call after they purchased one of my programs. And we had this really incredible conversation. And while this individual was quite young, like one of the younger people I've ever worked with and helped, I could see the level of vision, commitment, drive, and need for help and support. And so in today's conversation, it's actually a coaching call. And one of the greatest ways that I can help somebody gain clarity is in a coaching session. And for whatever reason, I'm really good at it. It's my superpower. And oftentimes I'm in those conversations and I think, man, if other people could see this and witness this with the person that I'm talking to as sort of the example, then you would learn the principles you need to then go and create clarity in your own life. And yet these conversations that I have with entrepreneurs, it's sacred territory. Like it's a very private, personal conversation. And I make a commitment to them that they are safe and that this stays between us. And every once in a while, I'll have a client who says, this was so profound, Katie. More people need to see this. More people need to hear about this. And what you're going to hear today is one of those conversations. This is an individual who has a fairly young startup and yet was really needing help. And from the conversation that she heard of me on a podcast, she specifically decided, Katie's the one who can help me. And so today's podcast is a coaching session with this individual. And because I really respect the commitments that I make to people and their privacy, we have cut out this individual's name, but they have very generously said, yes, please share this. So today you're getting an intimate look at a very personal, private coaching session with somebody who felt, in their words, like they were in survival mode. And it felt like every path they were attempting to go down was another dead end. And what happened very quickly for them is they started, because of the work that we were doing together, they said, I feel unstoppable. And so today you're going to get a window, insight into how I do that and how you can do that in your life too. And you can really start to flip it. And what's so cool is recently I tasked my team with creating a introductory program. My programs are an investment. And I tasked them with taking one of the most powerful elements of my coaching and creating a more accessible program around that strategy. And she's been one of our students inside that program. So today, I want to invite you to be open, be present, and asking the question, what am I hearing for me in this conversation that Katie's having with her client? So let's hop into it. Give me a sense for what you're hoping to accomplish on today's call and how we can make it most productive for you.
Okay, yeah. So I think I need more clarity on like what my North Star should be. And I know you said like you don't want to like help needy people, so like I kind of like feel bad because like now like I feel like you're the hero of my story for now until like I become the hero. But I just feel like because I asked like why myself 20 times, like more than 9 times, and I still couldn't get to that like why that is very fulfilling or that lights me up. Like I think they're all important, and like the living in the present moment, that's like what I got to the furthest. But I don't know if I should like go deeper than that, but then I don't know what else to answer. Um, but at the same time, like I don't think it's like a bad thing. It just like doesn't really light me up. And it's probably because, like you said, like people have like a logical and emotional aspect to everything. And I think I was thinking about that aspect very logical, and the whys like I answered in a logical way.
Mhm.
Because I don't know, I think like I'm in a way like scared of pain, so that's why like I didn't answer with this like pain like answer, so like I wouldn't cry too much. I did like cry twice, I think, but like it wasn't like sobbing, but kind of like I don't know. I wanted to like show this, and I wrote this like backwards so you can like see. But that's kind of like where I'm at, where like this would be the North Star, and then
Mhm.
I would advertise different ways like clarity or family or present moment, but each of these would have like a different outcome and different audiences. Like I think people who would do clarity, for example, would just want, house organizers and just want to like relieve themselves from anxiety because everything is too messy versus family. I think like this one's also different because they want to spend time with people and they want to feel loved. And then the present moment, those type of people who I think would kind of like do yoga or like want inner peace and happiness and like chill. So those would all be different audiences. And I think like yesterday I was like thinking more, and I'm leaning towards like a subset of family because I think like one of my pain points, like, and it's still currently a pain point that gets me more emotional because the other things that are like more logical to me,
Mhm.
but the emotional part is like what we were talking about, like the first time, our first session, which is like me really wanting to like bond and like having this like not being integrated, and I want people to feel like included in community. So it'll be like a different subset because I don't think like most people from families would say that like they feel lonely. Like I think I'm like a special category within this like family where it's like I want to be included in community, not just love. So like this would have an extra audience right here, but that's kind of like what I came up with so far. Um,
Mhm.
I do have like some business values as well and like some future business plans, but I feel like I've always like just like done things instead of like really sitting down and think like, is this what I actually want? Because I went so far to go like wanting to hire someone because I was like still in this like dropshipping mentorship, which is going to end soon. But basically there's like someone who's like making six figures or more, and he's saying that you can hire people from Philippines, and I saw that you can hire like full time like $400 a month. So I was thinking to do something like part-time and $200 a month. And apparently he was saying that like they're helping him with like Instagram and like ads and everything. So I was thinking to do that, and like I feel like it's better to just maybe put ads out there and see what works, like just get started until like I figure out my North Star. But at the same time, like, because I've been struggling with this like purpose Star thing for like a couple of months now, like even before like I reached out to you. So I'm like at that point where I'm like, well, I've been doing ads for a while, but nothing's working really. I mean, I did get some sales like from the veggie chopper that I was telling you about. I got 6 sales, but I was like in a loss for money more than gaining money. And my boyfriend was saying that like, yeah, you could tell how like you were not really believing in this product, but also like I found the product interesting though. But also he said that I wasn't speaking from my heart, and I think that's kind of like where I'm struggling. Where like for all of these, like I think they're all interesting and like I care about these and I think they're important, but I'm looking at it from a very logical perspective, and it doesn't really move me. And like I want to be able to speak from my heart in the
Mhm.
ads. So I think that's kind of like where I'm at.
Okay. Okay.
A lot, sorry.
No, it's great. Um, the what's interesting is like we're definitely doing this excavating, asking why, digging deeper, what's currently
Yeah.
inside of me, what desires do I currently have that is like potential energy, right? Potential
Right.
fuel. And how can I channel that desire that I already have and give it a place to live and exist in my business so that it
Right.
becomes a big part of my drive. And
Yes.
it's natural, it's instinctive, and yet it's also utilizing your agency, and it's choosing to apply that part of yourself here in the business. And so this is like, first of all, huge kudos to you for doing this internal work, going inside, using the frame of curiosity, trying to understand what's going on inside of you so that you can organize these parts of you in a way where it's really productive, it's exciting,
Right.
it lights you up, like you said.
Yeah.
So, as you have done these exercises, what you've landed on so far is your North Star is helping people to live in the present moment.
Right.
And you're not exactly sure why that matters to you, but it does resonate with you.
Yeah. Yeah. It resonates with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you did also say it doesn't necessarily light you up. And as you,
Yeah.
is that correct? And as you looked at what really lights you up, there's something about this element of family and community and belonging and
Right.
feeling loved
Right.
and like you're a part of something that
Yeah.
does light you up.
Yeah. It lights me up more.
Okay. Um, and we have the drop shipping business, and you've run ads in the past. You're considering hiring somebody in the Philippines part-time, $200 a month, to help you better dial in Instagram ads and content. And you're
Yes.
and
Yes.
specifically what you're seeing is maybe part of why things weren't really necessarily landing or fully profitable is maybe there was some incongruency. Is that what you're saying? Between
I think so. Yeah. I think so. Like where like I don't feel lit up.
Mhm.
Like I loved how the ads turned out. Like I think they were aesthetic, like it was like something that was fitting in my criteria, but I just wasn't speaking from my heart. But I loved
Sure.
the ads themselves, how they turned out, like creative wise, because I like using my creativity. But the
Yeah.
fact that I wasn't coming from a place where it was like abundant, I think it was like desperate because it was just like, oh my gosh, let's just like try a bunch of ads instead of like genuinely coming up with a strategy and like really figuring out what I want and then like speaking from my heart. I
Mhm.
think that's kind of like what's missing here. Because I think I can figure out stuff, but it's that part where it's like I want this to be like from my heart. But I just like don't know what to do because I did do like the why things and like I did do that internal work, but I'm just
Mhm.
like at a weird point, I think, where it's like transitional, where like I'm becoming an adult and like I don't really know what I want. So like I don't know
Yeah.
what's going on. Like I think it's I'm like just in a weird spot right now in my life where it's like I don't know.
Which honestly, that's right where you need to be. I would, in a lot of ways, hope that you're at that spot at 23 because
Right,
you're at
right.
that age where you need to try and test lots of different things
Mhm.
to really decide what works for you, what excites you, what lights you up, what doesn't.
Yeah,
How do you want to take your skills and abilities and talents and really apply them in a really specific way. So, something that I want to share with you that I think is a really important concept to keep in mind with all of this. I'm
yeah,
teaching you these tools for like excavating and seeing what desires are currently inside of you. And we're
yeah.
attempting to do something really difficult, which is take something that's just a feeling, maybe
I
even
agree.
it's a
Yeah,
feeling in the subconscious, and we're
right.
trying to bring definition to it, which is not easy, right? A
I agree.
feeling is literally an emotion, it's just like an
Yeah,
experience in your body. And so trying to define that, it is very difficult, it's not easy, and it can be very elusive, and sometimes it feels like, yeah, I've nailed it, and then other times it's like, nah, we haven't really landed on it. But at
right.
the end of the day, once we've utilized all of those tools and we've done this excavating and we have different elements in front of us, what will help you powerfully move forward is your agency. And we take all
Right.
of these parts and pieces that you now see in front of you, and even if it's kind of your best attempt at defining what you're feeling, but it also feels like, I'm not 100% there. even
Right.
when we're at that place, at the end of the day, in order to make progress, we have to look at what is in front of you
True.
and
Yeah.
start making decisions. And
Yeah.
sometimes those decisions might even go against what you're kind of feeling. And let me give an example of this. So, when I had built up this physical products company, when we got the offer to buy out our company, it was unexpected. What we were looking for is we were actually looking for a partner to invest in the company because I had a vision for kind of the next season of the business. I was going to evolve it. I was going to expand it into including coaching. And
Right. Okay.
and so I'm looking for that partner, and I ended up getting an offer that I wasn't expecting. And I was at this crossroads because I had this vision for where I was taking this company. Something showed up, and it actually helped me see that maybe this helps me reach my goal and objective better, faster, and in a new and interesting way. And
Yeah.
so I end up making this decision to exit the company and move into coaching. Well, as soon as I moved into coaching and I no longer could kind of hide behind the products and the brand, and it was like all me, well, my
Wow.
resistance showed up. And so there was a big part of me that was fighting the decision that I had made. There was a big part of me that was afraid to move forward and
Wow.
that felt unqualified. And so, even though it was like a nervous system response, even though there was this nervous system response of, I don't want to do that. That's too scary. I don't feel qualified. I don't feel like I have the authority. Even though that was my nervous system resistance to the
Mhm.
decision that I had made, I kept choosing to do it anyways. And that is the power of agency. Even though there was a part of me that was scared, there was a part of me that didn't feel qualified. The thing that ultimately helped me overcome that resistance was choosing. So that's an example of feelings potentially sabotaging what my higher self was choosing and wanting. And
Mhm.
every day I had to face that part of me that was like kicking against the decisions that I had made, that part of me that wanted to dig her heels in and say, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not showing up today. This is too hard. It was harder than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And I had to use my agency and choose to keep going. So I like I use that example not because I think you're in a similar place, but that I want you to see the importance of choosing. So we've done the work to identify these elements, and when you kind of follow the process, what you saw was that you want to help people live in the present moment, but you're noticing there's this element of lack of excitement. So you're at a crossroads, and you can say, I'm going to keep helping people live in the present moment as my North Star. Or, and that's not necessarily right or wrong, it's just one
Mhm.
option. Or you can say, you know what, even as I've done all of this work and journaled and gotten out of my head, what I'm really seeing is I want to help people feel like they belong
Mhm.
through community, through connection. I don't know exactly specifically how it is. And so maybe that is your North Star. You're at a crossroads, and ultimately it's up to you. The tools are there to help you bring definition to what you're feeling,
Yeah.
but they're not necessarily the right answer.
Right.
And
Right.
because you've identified these two potential North Stars, now you're at the crossroads and you get to say, which one do I want? Because
Yes.
neither one is the right or wrong answer.
I agree. I agree with you.
And really it comes down to choosing one, and then from there integrating that decision into the different touch points of your business and really aligning everything that you're doing in the business towards that goal and objective. So as you think about helping people live in the present moment, or creating community and really helping people feel like they're a part of something like a family,
Mhm.
which one do you want to be your North Star? Because at the end of the day, it's a decision.
You're right. Wow. Yeah. Um, I was thinking. like for now, I can still do living in the present moment because like it just gives me more opportunity to explore. Like you can explore like the clarity angle. I can do like the present moment angle. I can do the family angle because I guess
Mhm.
like for like Thanksgiving or Christmas you can do like that family angle or just like in general, but also like throughout the year you can do clarity or whatever. So I think there's like more flexibility than me just like sticking to like one thing.
Okay.
Um,
I love that.
yeah,
I even see like family or community could totally be one of your values.
And
that's
so it,
true.
It
Yeah.
still plays a very big role in what you're doing. And it lines up with helping people to live in the present moment. And one of the ways that we do that is through family, through community.
Yeah, I like that. I really like that. I agree.
Yeah. And then that way you have that element of something that excites you and lights you up.
Yeah.
I am curious, is there a connection between helping people live in the present moment and the pain of your past? Have you struggled, maybe even specifically now as you've been in survival mode,
and
Yeah.
that's
been a part of the pain of the past?
Yes, it's been a pain in the past and also a current past, not as like hurtful as that like identity and like community aspect, but because of the identity community aspect that I felt like very excluded, I was like in a point where it was like a lot of like depression and anxiety and like I was not living in the present moment at all because I was just
Mhm.
like constantly overthinking and like
Mhm.
in my current life it's also kind of like similar because I still haven't found like good healthy coping mechanisms to like not overthink too much. Like I'm still kind of like
Okay.
spiraling sometimes like during the day. So like it's like
Sure.
very helpful for me to like really do something so like I don't have to like go through that.
Mhm.
But I think it's something that my brain is more used to and like it's more okay with that part than the community aspect. Like my brain is less okay with not being part of something. I think it's just like the human aspect of
Mhm. Mhm.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, like, as you're talking about these different, this North Star and potentially this value of family and
Mhm.
community, I can even start to see how that would potentially influence your ads and the messaging that goes in that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
What are some ideas that you have? So if the goal and objective is to, well, ultimately help people live in the present moment, and the drop shipping business is a vehicle for doing that,
Hmm.
and then we would bring these elements to your Instagram content, to your ads, to your branding. What are ways that you see that you can be integrating this present moment objective and even ideas for how to incorporate family and feeling
Hmm.
connected to it?
Yeah, so that's kind of like where I'm struggling because depending on the product, I think like I don't know how to blend all of these together. It would just be one or the other. For example, I saw this like really cute tea set and it was like making tea in like a patio and I was thinking to do that from like living in the present angle where like take care of yourself and like like enjoy the tea, all of that. But I'm or a family angle, like enjoy tea with your family, but I didn't know how to kind of like blend everything together. So that's kind of like I think because I have too many ideas, it's like the clarity and the present moment and the family, where it's like, so how do I add all of these and add, I think like for an ad
Yeah.
that's 10 seconds or like less than 30 seconds, I think it's like a lot. But
Yeah. Yeah. It's
yeah,
true.
I think it would come out weird too, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm a very indecisive person. I think that's kind of like what stops me from doing a lot of things, like
Okay.
decisiveness and confidence. And
Okay.
that's like the choosing part that you were saying.
What's interesting is that's very characteristic of a creative person as well.
Oh,
Because when you're
wow. Yeah.
creative, you're really open.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're open to the idea that maybe there's a different way to do it or a better way to do it. And I think it's just important to know that about yourself. And so what's great is we share a lot of those similar characteristics. So I can continue to help you kind of protect yourself against the downside of some of those aspects of your nature.
Yeah.
Yeah. And really focus and channel your gifts and abilities in a way that they can really shine. So
Right.
I want you to think of that North Star. It is totally in your field of vision, but in a way that maybe you're not expecting. Are you familiar with these images called stereograms?
No, but I saw the video that you were talking about where
Okay.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
We've talked about this. So we've talked about stereograms. You watched one of those videos?
yes, like you were saying that you saw like a lot of things behind that, like 3D or something like that.
Yes. Have you been able to do
No.
anything like this?
No.
Okay, it's so wild. Let me do this one really quick and see what's even in this image. Oh yeah, there's fish and a turtle. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you can't even see it in this water. You can't see it unless you
Wait, no, I see the turtle.
you see him.
I see the turtle. It's like that like line, right? Those are the turtles.
There's one turtle. He's like right here. But you can't, if you look directly at this image, you can't see him.
Wait, sorry. I thought like all the turtles are like all
No.
of those turtles. Never
There's
mind.
one turtle.
There.
One turtle.
I don't think I see him.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
But okay, so you've never experienced one of these.
No.
Yeah, like I'm looking at this image now. There is no evidence of a turtle anywhere in there. And yet when you look past it, that's when the turtle pops up.
Right.
And in a sense, this is what your North Star is. We identify it, we place it there
Yes.
as our North Star, but it's not the thing that we're focused on day to day.
Right. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Quick question for you. What would happen in your business and life if you could show up powerfully? As a coach to high-performing entrepreneurs, I help intelligent people like you do just that. And if you want to be inspired by people who are getting more done in 90 days than most people do all year, I'm going to invite you to go check out my case studies. The website is now.katierichardson.com/case study. And the cool thing is we've got so many case studies there. You can find an entrepreneur who's just like you. I've also got a link for you down in the show notes. Okay, back to the show. Yeah. And instead we're focused on building the business, but doing it in a way that it lines up with the North Star. So what we're focused on is the Instagram content. What we're focused on are the Facebook ads. And as we're asking these questions about the content and what we're building and creating, we're constantly checking to see, is it lining up with my North Star? So for example, like when you're, and then the way that the values work is they determine the path, right? If you're here and you want to go here, there's like a million different ways we could get there, right? There's
Right.
1,000 different routes. The one that's right for you is the one that is the path that incorporates your values. That's the right path for you. And that's what the values do, is they are guides to continually identify the right path for you. And so what I'm starting to see is, you know, if family and feeling connected and a part of a community is really important to you and one of your values, then how can we bring that to the voice of your company in your Instagram
Yeah. I like
content and in your ads? And I would like, as a creative, I'm already saying, okay, if that means that you are speaking rather than an I and you, it becomes a we, and who we are as a family, who we are as a community, who we are as a brand. What's that voice? And how can we then speak in that voice, in the we sense, to start to build out this community identity that when people are purchasing your products, they're taking on that identity of this community. They're a part of something special. Remind me the name of your company.
It's very kind of like organizational. Do you think it's like,
You don't have to change it at all. I think it's really cute.
okay, I like it too.
Seriously, like maybe, a really popular podcast, Dax Shepard, Armchair Expert. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Okay, doesn't matter. But he has a name for his community. So his podcast is called Armchair Expert.
that.
And he calls his community cherries, like arm cherries.
Oh my
And
gosh.
that's his people. And so he always refers to his arm cherries. And that's his community.
Yeah.
And so he speaks to them in an us and a we tone. And you have the same opportunity here. Like maybe they're called tidies.
Yeah, I really like that. And in my ad, I can like just say that like hello tidies or like something like that. Like super.
Yes. Are you a tidy?
Are you-
Yeah.
Here's who we are. And it's like almost this manifesto of like everything in its right place, nothing lost, everything has a home, because being present matters in our life. And that means we're eliminating the chaos in our life. It's something like that. But can you see, your heart wasn't in it? Can you like start to feel anything in your body as we even describe this ad?
Yes, I feel a bit like it's not as like like I actually like feel something. Yeah.
Yeah. And that is what is going to attract your customer. That's what cuts through the noise, because they feel something. There's intention behind the ad. It's not just about moving product. Yes, that's important. But if we can really identify the deeper need of your customer, the emotional need of your customer, and satisfy both, right? Yes, she needs her veggies chopped, and she has an emotional need too. So can we satisfy both of those needs? And by doing so, elevate you and your brand and separate you from the competition and really become the only option in her mind. She might not have the words to describe why she wants your veggie chopper versus the other ones that she sees online, but something about it is resonating.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I like that. I like that. Because previously in my life, I think it was more like me doing research and like I've asked customers, like people who purchase from me, like questions like what helps you live in the present moment, but no one responded to me. But I think it's like better to come from like your place and your values. So then like whoever aligns with you comes in your boat instead of like you searching for other boats and like seeing. I mean, I think that's important too, but I think it's like really cool that we're doing this first, like the internal work, and then like building a business outside of your like internal work, and then you can like ask people who have purchased from you after you've done the internal work, so that that's like aligned with everything that you're doing instead of like just trying to satisfy everyone, which I really like actually. I like this. I like this.
Yes.
Like
I mean, this goes back to that visual that I showed you on that first, or maybe it was our second call, right? In the past, you were throwing out a bunch of ads and just trying.
like
Yes.
somebody wants something.
Yes.
Right now we're doing is
We're designing an ad that does this, right?
Yeah. Yep. I like that.
Yeah. And keep in mind, like, there's lots of different ways to build a business. There's plenty of people who have found success building businesses, selling products to people that are very different from them. And that's okay too.
and
Yeah.
What you're wanting is you're wanting to build a business that has personal meaning to you and that is fulfilling for you.
Yeah.
And so this is the model for how to do that.
Yeah. I really like this model. I think like you're one of the few people that I actually like resonate with in terms of like business and like also values and creativity, because like I did like talk to other people and like the dropshipping business, like I love like for example their videos, they were saying like it's good to have like, this click-through rate or like doing cold audience or whatever, like all this like knowledge was like really great, but I felt like I wasn't really resonating with that community because like they're not teaching what you're teaching. They're just like, oh, like steal someone else's ad or like just to promote anything and everything like until you find something that works, which is not a bad idea for a beginner, but I feel like that like industry itself, like people don't trust each other at all, and like I want to be in a community where people trust each other, like have their backs and like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those methods helped you get started and you're ready to evolve beyond that.
Yeah.
And that's great. And, you know, I was just talking with one of my VIP clients. She's got an $11 million business. She'll close it out at 11 million this year, probably do 20 million next year. And she's on track to potentially exit her company at the level that would put 25 million in her pocket. And she told me, Katie, like, my passion's not there. like my focus is fizzling.
Oh,
And she's like right on the finish line. And it's because she's missing this element of purpose. Even at that level, the reason I tell you that is even at that level, you
wow.
still need it. Like
Wow.
she's watching herself sabotage her business at
Oh,
this level because it's missing that fulfilling element for her.
Wow, I had like a weird thought because I thought all successful people who make a lot of money have a purpose because there's no way you can resist without having one. Like, I don't know if I would be able to handle all of that pressure, like without having purpose. Like, that's crazy that some people can just like do that. Wow.
Yeah, they use a lot of hard work and discipline and grit to build it to that level. And then
wow.
because it doesn't have significance and meaning to them, it actually is very terrifying because they thought that level of wealth would be the significance that they were looking for. But
Oh, that's the
money at the
weird
end of the day
focus.
is not fulfilling. It's
Correct.
incredible and a resource when you understand what matters to you.
I agree with you.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is great that we're talking now.
Yes.
You're able to build this in and integrate this into your business like right out of the gates.
Yeah.
I want to keep in mind you've built a beautiful brand, and I think
Yes.
there's a lot of the elements that you need already there, and it's about really identifying that purpose and infusing it into a lot of what you've already done. And
Yeah.
you know, a lot of times as a creator, what we build and create is very intuitive, and now you
Right.
have the words to understand why you liked that style or why you like this look. And the more that you have the words, the greater defined it is, the more actionable it is.
Yeah. I agree. I agree.
Okay, so we're talking right now about this element of community and how this is one example of bringing your values and your heart to
Mhm.
your ads, to your Instagram content, and integrating this identity of tidies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I really
And
like
like,
Building out that identity. Tell me more about those people, right? Building out that identity, identifying who we are not, what matters to us, and then integrating those elements into your content and into your ads.
Okay, so I really like aesthetics. So I think someone who likes doing like aesthetic stuff, someone who likes organizing things, someone who likes spending time with family. Because there's a lot of people who I feel like they're not family oriented, but I do want to search for people who are, or like at least like community oriented people. What else? I think I'm struggling a bit with like their needs in a way because like I haven't like really talked particularly to like someone, but I did like ask my therapist like why do people feel anxious? And she was saying it's because you're not living in the present moment. So like but at the same time, I don't know if people want to live in the present moment or if they're aware. Because I saw that video with you saying like we were trying to target people who are aware of the problem, but like not people who are not aware because bringing awareness is very expensive. Maybe someone who wants to solve their anxiety, maybe they might not be aware that like they have to live the present moment or like they would like to, but someone who has anxiety issues, and I think like that would resonate with me. This lights me less than like the community part, but like I do think that there's a lot of people who like struggle with that, especially in this like noisy world. So someone who wants to kind of like feel more relieved from like all this like stressful environment.
I love this. Anxiety is a projection on the future, not going the way that we want and hope.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
It's projection into the future. Pain and regret often comes from the past, and anxiety tends to be future based. It's a fear that the future is not going to go the way I need it to go.
That makes sense.
It's interesting because this is a total projection, and like, when in life are we ever good at predicting the future? Like, never.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whatever our mind's going to come up with won't happen anyways because we've never been good at. But I think this is great to know this about your customer. that anxiety is a pain that they experience on a regular basis. And so part of what we do, and when you become a tidy, when you become a tidy, then you begin to find relief to your anxiety, because one of the ways that you're helping them find relief is by silencing the noise, aka the chaos in their physical life, which is really cool. Like you're starting with where they're at, because a lot of times the internal work is really difficult for people, right? Doing that internal work. You, by the way, you're a total anomaly. I don't know if you know this about yourself.
No, I don't know.
Yes, you are. Most people are not like you. Leah. Most people sit in survival mode and just put up with it. And you were like, I'm not okay with this anymore.
Sucks.
They hide it really well because they don't show it. Most people, like, I feel for some reason I feel like I'm in a storm and most people are like chilling, but it's probably because they're not showing it. I think like most people are more chill than me, but it's probably because they hide it better. Like I know my cousin, she seems so chill on the outside, but she just tells me that she's dying inside. She's like anxious and all that. I'm like, I don't see it. I don't know. Like, because I'm an expressive person. I think that's what it is. So that's why I think that I'm more anxious than most people, or more survival mode than most people, even if that might not be true. Because I'm just more expressive.
Yeah, and you're moving to action. And that's the piece that a lot of people don't have. Either they don't think it's possible for it to change, and so then they just kind of give up hope. And you haven't given up hope, even though you were in such difficult circumstances and things were so uncomfortable. You hadn't given up hope.
Yep. And I quit my job. I don't know. I think I told you this. I'm very happy. I feel so much better. Oh my gosh. It was giving me a lot of money, but it was just not worth it, the mental health. So
I was like,
I want to be part of that community. So I'm just going to create my own.
So how much of your day do you have available to work on your business?
Every day. It's unlimited now.
That's great. This is so good.
Yes.
Okay.
And I can start, and I feel like I can do such a good job where like I don't have to work anymore. Like that's my goal. But because I also want to focus on like our coaching, because it's like only 2 months. But once like I make more money, I do want to continue working with you long term. But like worst case scenario, I don't want to think about this, but if it doesn't work by January, then like I'm gonna probably like start applying it to jobs. But I really hope this works out though. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. You're all in, you're committed, you're focused, and you have a lot of time to dedicate to this. So what to get to by January in order to feel like you can keep going and not have to go get a job?
Yeah, I like that idea. Just like working hard with my employee, because I'm really bad at video editing and like I don't know how to do all of those. So like it would be really helpful for me to like
What's the revenue number that you need to get monthly, feel stable?
I think like 4,000, 5,000, like
in gross revenue,
Or
yes.
just
top line revenue. Do you know the difference?
No.
That's okay. That's why I'm here. Top line revenue is just dollars into the bank account.
Okay. Yeah.
So like however people are paying you, probably through Shopify, where is
Shopify.
Okay. Yeah. And does it give you like a dashboard you can see revenue for the month?
Yes, it does.
Do you have some stability, or is it doing this?
Right now it's doing this because I don't really have like a very successful ad or something that like pumps money yet. But ideally, if it would be stable, like 5,000 a month. But yeah, I don't know the difference yet.
Okay. Well, right now we get to like, we're establishing the dream. What do you want? Okay. And it sounds like what you're saying is you want $5,000 consistently every month. Okay.
Yes. I mean, like the dream is to like have like at least, I don't know, 5 figures, 6 figures, but like for like what's reasonable, it's like 5,000, at least 5,000.
When you're at this point, listen, there will come a time and place where we dream big and we really stretch you.
Yes.
Right now we're getting you out of survival mode. So what I'm hearing you say, 5,000, and let me go back to the definition. Top line revenue would be the money coming in. If we subtract your cost of goods.
Oh, okay.
that would be gross revenue. Okay. So right now is $5,000 top line revenue or gross revenue? Do you know?
I
With
think
those,
top line works. Um, Ideally it would be gross, but I think I would survive out of 5,000.
Top line.
Okay.
To work. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
typically, what do your margins usually look like? When somebody buys a product that's $40, did it cost you 20 to purchase it, or is it more than that?
I think like 2.5x is what they were saying.
So you're pricing
So
your
it's not
goods
like 50%.
2.5x what you're paying for them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Usually, but I think it's between 2 and 2.5.
Do you know how it works on the back end? Because you're drop shipping, you haven't purchased it until you sell it, essentially. Once you sell it, then the transaction happens, and I don't know how the money flows for you specifically, but I don't know if you're getting like the money goes directly to the you're the drop shipper. The money goes directly
Yeah.
to the manufacturer and then you get X percent, or does the money flow through you and you pay them?
The money flows through me and I pay them whenever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And 2.5 is your retail price. Okay. We'll want to get to know these numbers a little bit better. And please don't have any shame around any of this. That's why I'm here. You can ask me
Yeah.
any of the questions. And I will tell you from personal experience, the more familiar you get with your numbers and your margins, what's cool is you can then really bring your creativity to these numbers. And you have, because you have understanding of them and you're not doing this
Yeah.
because you understand it and you have the capacity to stand in the discomfort sometimes
Yeah.
of the numbers, it will
Yeah.
better empower you to grow your business.
Yeah, that's one of the goals because I've been kind of like doing this for a while where like I'm not very good at tracking my finances, but I need
Yeah.
to. I think today
Yeah.
I have to
And-
sit down, do my Excel.
So,
Totally okay. Okay, so today we talked about two new terms, top line revenue and gross revenue. Share with me, how do you define these two terms? I want to just
So
Make sure you
top
understand.
line is the like the total amount of money that comes to you, and then the gross revenue is like minus cost of goods sold, which I
Yes.
think it means like after paying the manufacturer and like other costs.
yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Your drop ship fee and the literal cost of goods.
Right, right.
So gross revenue is what's left over after that. There's also another level after that, and we won't go into these details, where it's kind of net profits, which is, after you subtract your salary, the software that you subscribe to, even your VA, that then also gets subtracted, and that's kind of your net profit.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so right now, from your best understanding, your target is 5,000 a month top line revenue.
Yes.
Let's just work with the truth of the numbers. Do you know what your top line was last month?
Honestly, I didn't make more than $400. Like,
That's okay. I love it. It's the truth. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So last month we were at $400 top line revenue. Do you know when you were running ads, even the non-profitable ones, like what has been your highest month?
Oh, sorry. So my highest month I meant is like 400, and the lowest month I think like 150. But I was not making profit though because I paid more the ads. Like the one where I did like 400, I think that was like break even. So that
Okay.
sucks. Okay, so
Okay.
that's good because that means that it costs like around $400. But that's after I like completely inactivate my ads. But if I keep them running, it's gonna actually cost more. So wow, 5,000 top line is not that much considering how much I'm paying for ads. Because I might be spending like hundreds on those ads, but I think it's still okay for now. Like it's still a start, and then I
Yeah.
can like, scale more. It's better
Totally.
than
Yeah.
Totally. How, since your business isn't paying you and you just quit your job, how are you paying the bills?
so I still have some savings.
Okay. Okay. Good. I just want to make sure you're okay and you're taken care of.
Yes.
Okay.
And I also live with my boyfriend, so sometimes he pays for groceries or like going out. So like it's nice.
Awesome. Awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Okay. So right now, what we need is a lever or a system that is helping to generate this $5,000 a month. And the things that you have tested are Instagram and Facebook ads. And at best, we've been able to break even.
Yes, correct.
Okay. So we've discussed to optimize ads is bringing this element of family and community and creating the identity of tidies to potentially separate you from the competition and have your ads stand out to people.
Yep. Yep. In drop shipping though, the thing about this is that anyone can steal your ads. Like I saw when I was running my veggie chopper ad, someone stole it and like took my whole product page. So that's kind of like what the world I'm living in is. But I feel like people, when they will see more of my ads, then they will trust me more, and I can put like my logo in the videos. And then someone said that I can also like just print a sticker and then put that sticker like on the product, so then people can't steal your ads because it's like your logo on.
Mhm.
So I could also try doing something like that. But I feel like even if someone copies my whole product page, it's still not gonna feel like my page because mine is like tidies, whereas like they have like a different brand name, like different everything, and like I will put all of that tidies voice in the ad. So even if they steal it, like they'll see that it's not them. I don't know.
As a creator myself, anytime somebody steals something from me, it's a huge energy drag. It just is.
Yes, I agree.
But what I'm gonna say, right, we need to really focus on creating this identity and starting to get ads that are working.
Yep.
And
So what I'm gonna right now, people might steal your things, and we need to not put energy towards that, because we need all of your energy and effort focused on building this feeling, this brand, this community, this identity first and foremost. And anything else is honestly just a distraction. It's infuriating. It is. And I get that. And we need to kind of really focus on building the ad sets that are working.
I agree. Yeah.
So another thing that we want to consider is your margins and a similar percentage. What are some of your highest priced items or your best selling items?
Best sellings were around $30 each, and usually I price at least like $25, but I haven't gone beyond $100. So it'd be
okay.
like 30, 40, 50, but it wouldn't be like very pricey. Too
Okay.
pricey. Yeah.
So your average cart value isn't going to be over $30. If your best selling items are 30, your average cart value would be kind of below that.
I don't know what the average cart value means, but it makes
Don't know what
sense
it means.
what you're saying. Yeah.
So in order to make this all work, we have to develop a system where we know for X amount of dollars, we can get somebody onto your website and purchase that. And every month we would average out kind of the cart value, the average of what people who are clicking on those ads are spending. I mean, there's drop off. People will click and come to the site and they will bounce, but a certain percentage will purchase products. Of the percentage who purchases products, what's the average they are spending on your website?
Oh, I see.
Item they can buy is $30, getting, I'm going to say like 30% of that, then you can't spend more than like $11 to bring that person to your website, which honestly, especially in November and December, it's hard to compete at that price, right? And so that's how you start losing money. So one idea that I immediately have is, how can we create a bundle? So instead of just buying one product that is averaging below $30, how can we give them, and they get a good price on it, but they're spending more money, and we increase the cart value.
of the
Yeah, I
customer.
can make bundles. Like I can just have like a winning product and then have a bundle where you can purchase most popular bundles like this, and this. That would
Mhm.
be, I don't know, $90 or is 60 to $90.
So I want you to keep all this in mind. The North Star is helping people to be present. One of the main values is family and community. How can we leverage family and community and that kind of messaging to help increase the cart value and therefore increase top line revenue and increase your gross profits and create freedom for you that helps you to continue to grow and scale your business? So, yeah, bundles is going to be something that I think is going to be really important to increasing that cart value,
Mm-hmm.
which then when we increase cart value and we increase profits, then we have more money to put into ads. It feeds the machine. Is that making sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I'm thinking another way is to be active on TikTok and Instagram. Probably TikTok is like an easier way of doing that because that platform for some reason I think it's like slightly better.
What's that newest feature that they added to TikTok where it's basically competing with Amazon? What's that called?
Is it?
Yeah.
No, I think is it like a store or something?
Yes.
It's a huge opportunity. And like, and when I think about infusing this element of your brand and the identity of the tidies and who we are and how we approach the world, like aesthetics matter and we like organizing and we want to be connected to family, and we're making moves in our home to address anxiety and help us feel that relief from the anxiety. Like when you infuse those things and then you leverage a technology like TikTok shops, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, might be that.
You know, you bring these two worlds and these two elements together, and it's what really elevates the business.
Yep, I like that.
And like this family and community, we can leverage that into your bundles. And how can we create a bundle that makes sense to this person who's prone to anxiety and looking for relief of anxiety? How can we use this component of family and use that in your ads so that we're really speaking to them?
Yeah, that is a hard one. I guess like I don't know. Just like for example, if it was that like tea set that I would be selling, like
Mhm.
really enjoying your time with the family and like stay connected, or like maybe even whatever people talk about that, like share stories or something like that.
Mhm.
Don't forget moments like this, or I don't know, something like that.
You're totally on the right track. My very first product I ever sold is a product most people don't know about. It's a toddler fabric carrier. And it was a Mobius strip, which a mom could put on hands and be hands-free in a moment's notice. And it was a product that was easy and simple for me. It was cut and sew. I could have it manufactured locally, and then I could sell it profitably. And the tag, it had a tagline that said, so that you have two hands free to pick the best rutabaga of the bunch. And it's one sentence, but what was in that one sentence was this concept of a mom at the farmer's market. Health matters to her. Fresh food matters to her. Her family matters to her. She wants her child close. Like, think of everything that's encapsulated in that one statement. So you have both hands free to pick the best rutabaga of the bunch. That means her child is close to her physically. It means she's out there in her community, that she's, instead of like sending her money to Walmart and Costco, she's at the farmer's market because community matters and she wants to give back to her community and she wants healthy. So can you see how all of those elements are captured in that one sentence? And can I tell you how many people read that sentence? And it was store buyers, right? I would walk into a store, they weren't expecting me, they didn't know I was coming to sell them this product. I would show it to them, and specifically they would read that sentence and they would say what you said. Oh, like there was that emotional connection. And that's that's what we want to bring to all of your ads. And I think in a lot of ways, I feel really clear on kind of what this is starting to look like and how you can really separate yourself from your ads. So we're out of time. The two opportunities that I'm really seeing is, yes, you need to bring these elements to your ads and bring these elements to your content. But I think two opportunities I see is to increase average cart value through bundles.
Okay.
Which could be really great. And TikTok shops. I think there's a huge opportunity. I know we just barely brought it up, but I think there's an opportunity there to take this messaging, bring it to your TikTok platform, and connect it to the products seamlessly and make it really easy for people to become a tidy and be a part of your community.
I like that. Yes. Yes. And then I will just like from now on do like post a job on like that. It's called onlinejobs.ph, and then like hire someone, like really talk to them about like this concept, like figure out this like tidy identity better. I really like this. Like it brought me more clarity, and like so I thought I had to like settle on like one thing, so I think it was like nerve-wracking. Oh my gosh, I should do this. But I think like the way you describe it, like it's fine if it's like multiple things.
Yeah.
Like I just have to like put that like family
value.
You just need to know where each piece goes. That's it.
Yeah.
Like you can have all of these elements. They just need a clear place to go. And I think having family as one of your values is a really clear place for that to go.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that.
Michaela, I think this is incredible what you're building. I think it's really incredible.
Yeah, and my goal is kind of like doing something like you in the future where like I make my own product instead of like drop shipping. And then because drop shipping sometimes like it's not like the highest quality, but it does like help you have a profit, and like you don't need an inventory warehouse of those. So I'm learning, and like once I know what to do, then I'll start like making my own product.
I think that's super smart.
The way I did it is really risky, and in a lot of ways I got lucky. I certainly worked my tail off, and there were a lot of elements of design that helped me get the results that I got. But there was this huge element of luck also, and the stars had to align. And for whatever reason, we were really good at making that happen. And anybody who works with me, I advise them to do exactly what you're doing. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, because I'm not like a professional designer like you are, so like I don't think I have like any element where like I'm extremely talented, I would say. So that's why like I'm starting it this way, because if I start like you, like I don't even know how to design or to engineer or like sales, like so like it's easier for me to do this. And then like once like I figure it out, then I can actually like
I don't know.
Yeah.
Figure out with other experts or something.
Yep.
That's the way to do it. You're doing it the smart way.
Thank you. Thank
Good
you
to
so
see
much,
you, Kayla.
Katie. This was great.
Yeah, you're welcome.